Executive Director of Climate Mama and Climate Reality Mentor and Leader with the Climate Reality Project. Harriet is speaking to us today as a mom member of Rainforest Action's Palm Oil Action Team to help us make the climate food connection. Harriet will share with us a little bit about Conflict Palm Oil and Rainforest Action's Snack Food 20 campaign. Harriet will also help us connect the dots between what we eat, how it's grown, climate change, and how each of us can be empowered to take action and be part of the climate solution. Here we go with Harriet Shugarman.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for sitting out here in the rain. My goodness, Mother Earth is just showering us with her tears and hopefully with her sunshine tomorrow. I'm really thrilled to be here and glad to be with this wonderful Earth Day celebration by Earth Day New York. And I really appreciate that those of you that can take the time and stop for a moment or two and listen a little bit about a partner that I'm really happy to share the work that they're doing, the Earth Day, the Rainforest Action Network, and what they are doing with their palm oil campaign. And I'm here as part of their palm oil action team. So I want to talk a little bit about the problem of climate change, which is one of the themes that Earth Day New York is talking about this year. And it's a huge problem, and it's something that for those of us that want to do something, sometimes it seems way too big. How do we get our arms around it? How do we actually do something that can make a difference? And what I'd like to share with you is that the Rainforest Action Network actually has some good ideas that are pretty straightforward and actually pretty simple. And there are things that each of us can do to help slow down the climate crisis and really take an action, teach our kids, help them understand a little bit about what we all need to do. So I know that all of us here in New York recognize that climate change is happening and it's all around us. We are watching as the seasons are changing faster than they did in the past, as spring and summer stretch longer, and as allergies and asthma are more prevalent and more severe than they've been ever before. We've seen extreme weather events in all seasons, and many of us not only remember but are still suffering from the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy. And I know also that many of you here in New York are doing many things to try to reduce your carbon footprint already. And in fact, New Yorkers have some of the smallest carbon footprints in the country. We pre-cycle, we recycle, we compost, we do things to reduce our energy use, and we use mass transit. And we also regularly use our voting power to support and vote for candidates that care and do things about climate change. So in this same way, the Rainforest Action Network's Palm Oil Action Team, through the In Your Palm and the Snack Food 20 programs, are helping us think really carefully about the foods that we eat and the foods that we buy. And these campaigns are tools that we can use to call out those companies that aren't walking the walk on climate. So we can let the brands that we have or occasionally do support know that our earning dollars and our trust are things that we just don't give away lightly. And Rainforest Action Network is helping us name names and call out the worst offenders, some of the biggest food companies in the world who are currently not all in on climate change solutions. And we know that these kinds of campaigns will work because food companies really live and die on our support. So let me give you a little context. Many of the items that we purchase every day have a direct and real impact and are drivers of climate change. They are made out of items that are hiding in plain sight in our snack food aisle and in our grocery cart and probably in your cupboards when you go home. These products contain conflict palm oil, and that's something that we all need to learn more about. When you eat something that comes out of a bag, I see people eating out of a bag or a box or a tray, you're probably eating palm oil. Palm oil makes chocolate firmer, it makes potato chips crunchier, and it makes peanut butter creamier. But the way that companies grow palm oil has a terrible price. It's decimating the homes of some of our last remaining orangutans, and it's also destroying forests that are everybody's last hope for a stable climate. Conflict palm oil is palm oil that's grown thoughtlessly and unsustainably by logging and burning our rainforests to make way for massive palm oil plantations. And instead of rainforests acting as sinks or storage for carbon, this deforestation is actually releasing carbon dioxide dioxide into the atmosphere from burning trees and from burning the peatlands where these forests grow. A double whammy on greenhouse gases. Indonesia and Malaysia are two of the largest emitters of conflict palm oil, and Indonesia alone accounts for 80%, palm oil accounts for 80% of their CO2 emissions. Indonesia is actually the third largest greenhouse gas emitter in the world, behind us and China. Who knew? And it's largely from what we're doing in producing palm oil. So united with Rainforest Action Network, we can tell those brands on our store shelves that saving our climate, helping our rainforests and endangered species that live in them are far more valuable and more important than the pennies they're saving by producing conflict palm oil. So when you go home, check in your cupboards, see if you have items that have palm oil. Check out the Rainforest Action Network, Google Snack Food 20 or in your palm for a list of the companies that are using conflict palm oil. So stay tuned, because on May 20th, the Rainforest Action Network is launching a really great campaign, a global day of action against conflict palm oil, and they'll be talking about it on their site, and we'll be doing it at Climate Mama as well. So really join us this Earth Day. That's something that we can all do. We can all help, we can vote, we can try to get climate deniers out of office, but directly what we can do too is we have power in what we purchase and the companies that we support. So I ask you to join me in sharing the Rainforest Action Network's work with your friends, your families, and your neighbors, and together we really can change the world. Thank you.